Are you frustrated by the pace of living in the 21st century? Do you wish we could all go back to a simpler time without so much technology, social media, and pressures of our society? Join us for the Brigadoon Experience, where we learn some of the simpler crafts of yesterday while utilizing 21st century tools. We will explore the very most basic skills, crafts, organic gardening, music, and everyday household tips that maybe even our ancestors used. We are Stephanie and Steve Everett, and we want to invite you to share in our creative journey through the Brigadoon Experience. Hi, everybody. Today I'm going to be sharing some real basic techniques to get started on learning how to play the guitar. Maybe you've got a guitar sitting under your bed and you've never even given it a try, but the guitar is one of the easiest instruments to learn on your own or to watch a tutorial, all kinds of things on the internet. But today we're just going to get started with some basics. And this is going to be the first of a series of videos to get you going on the guitar. And we'll give it a little try and see how well you do. Now, I'm obviously playing an acoustic guitar. Now, acoustic guitar, the difference between an acoustic and, say, an electric guitar is that basically the acoustic guitar is its own speaker. So it already amplifies the sound with the hollow body of the acoustic guitar. Maybe you didn't know that. An electric guitar, most of the time, you need to plug into an amp. Now, you might know that there is also an acoustic electric guitar. So that would be something that looks like my guitar. However, you can also plug it into an amp. And that's just a great way to amplify or make an acoustic guitar a little bit louder. So I will be playing on an acoustic guitar, but most of the things I'm showing, you could also be playing on an electric guitar. So it doesn't really matter which you have, but either will work. Now, we're going to just talk about the basic positioning. Now, I am right-handed. You've probably heard that there are left-handed guitars. I'm going to be teaching from a right-handed perspective. My take on it is, I know a lot of people, you might be a little bit better with your left hand, but that might make you really great at chording or playing different notes. So I'm going to go from the right-hand perspective. There are left-hand guitars out there that are a little bit different. This is the basic guitar that you usually find in most shops or under your bed. So we're going to get started with some basic things about guitar. First of all, how to hold it. And this is a nice proportion guitar for me. I'm petite, and I'm not a real super tall person. This is a Grand Auditorium guitar, so it fits nicely right under my arm. There's a whole range of different kinds of acoustic guitar sounds. Instruments. So it just sits, the crook of the instrument is sitting right on my left leg, and then my arm naturally falls over. When I'm strumming, I'm going to be aiming for the middle of that sound hole. So I'm going to be aiming when I'm strumming for right there. My left hand is going to sit, we're going to be starting out mostly at the end of the fingerboard closest to where you see the headstock. This is the headstock up here, and my hand is going to be mostly down in here when we're playing for these opening sessions. Now let me tell you a little bit about the way the guitar is set up, and it's kind of interesting. It's like the human body, because this is the body of the instrument down here, the big part here that's curved, and it almost looks like a silhouette of a person. And then we have the neck of the instrument right here. And on top of that neck is the fretboard or the frets. And that helps you place your fingers so you know exactly where your fingers are going to go. And then we have the headstock. So just like a person, head, neck, body of the instrument. Okay. Now when we play the guitar, we are going to be aiming sort of to go right over the center of what we call the sound hole. And that's where that sound is coming out after being amplified in the hollow body of the instrument. So that's a really important part too. Also on here we have a bridge which holds up the strings so that they can actually ring freely. So that bridge kind of holds them up from the body of the instrument and allows it to ring and make a great sound. And then we can tune each of the strings up here with our tuning pegs. And they're just all here on the headstock. So you can tune with your tuning up here, tuning mechanism. And that's kind of the parts of the guitar, how we should hold it, some of the general basics. Today I'm going to share with you a little bit about the strings actually and their names. And if we go with the very furthest string away from me, it's going to be the highest sounding string, and this is note E. That's the first string. When we talk about first string through, there are 6 strings. Second string coming up from that is a B. Third string is a G. Fourth string is a D. Fifth string is an A. Sixth string is again an E, but 2 octaves lower than your top string, which is E up here. So it's a little bit different because you would think that string 1, when we talk about 1 through 6, would be the one that's the closest to you, but that's actually string 6. So just a little bit of, so you know when I say string 1, we're down on the bottom. So here's a little practice exercise for you that'll help you sort of practice where the different strings are. So I want you to do exactly what I just did when I was demonstrating. When I play individual strings, one thing that really helps me is to anchor my right hand. And I just sort of anchor my pinky against the pick guard, and then I'm gonna play each string 4 times. So it'll be 4 E's, 4 B's, 4 G's, 4 D's, 4 A's, 4 E's, and then back down. Now, one thing that you want to try to aim for is what I was doing, not looking at the strings, for the most part. And then that will sort of help you get the feel of where those individual strings are laying under your fingers. And finally, I don't want to go too long today, but I do want to share something a little bit about strumming. So strumming is, generally speaking, used for when we play chords. So when we're strumming, a lot of times we hit all of the strings or just some of the strings depending on the chord. But I just want you to get comfortable with a strumming motion. Now, the strumming that we're going to work on today is just down strumming. So just basically taking your pick. And when I do hold the pick, one thing I didn't mention yet, I kind of like to hit from the side of the pick. And I'll show you really quickly. I don't use a whole lot of pick when I'm working with the instrument. So sometimes that helps to just turn it on its side. I don't know, I find this point makes a kind of a too much of a aggressive sound. So I kind of like to work with the side of the pick. And I just want you to practice down strumming. So that's starting at string 6 and going to string 1 and just kind of getting a feel. 1, 2, we'll down strum together. And so that's a down strum on open strings. That means no fingers down, no chords, nothing like that, but just an open sound. And then really quickly, I'll give you one more to try. 1, we're gonna do down, up, down, up. That means your pick is gonna go down and then back up. So it'll be down, up, down, up. Here we go, down, up. So those are the 2 things I want you to try. I want you to try to play the individual strings, starting with string 1 up to 6 and back to string 1, 4 of each. Then I want you to try some basic down strumming, going from string 6 to 1, just in a down motion. And get really comfortable. And those are things you can do while you're doing other things. If you want to sit and watch TV and practice going through the strings, it's something you can do. Or just down strumming, getting used to that. Here we're just starting about some very, very basic things, the parts of the instrument, how to hold a guitar, some basic things about individual strings and strumming. And I can't wait to see you on our next session.